Hello. So today I am talking about how to get back into the head of a character that you haven't been writing for quite some time. So I tried to look this up to see if there was any resources, any blogs out there that discussed this. And surprisingly, I couldn't find any. But basically what happened is I started a story back in 2021, specifically for Kindle Vella. And that title is The Good Cancel. Now, I've never written an episodic series before, so basically I didn't know what I was doing. I was just trying it out for Kindle Vella. I don't know when Kindle Vella started, but somewhere around that time it did. And so I had this idea, and I think I thought of it around the same time that I published it. It wasn't in my head for long before I published it. And so I put it on Kindle Vella, and I was just testing it out, being that I never did an episodic series before it at all. So, it was just something to try out. And apparently what happened is I wrote a few episodes and then I kind of just abandoned it. I forgot about the story. And then last year I wrote another episode. And then recently I had an idea for an episode. So I went back to write another episode, but I found myself struggling to find the words. And I feel like I wasn't hearing the character's voice. And I think if anybody reads the story, The Good Cancel, they can hear a clear distinction between episodes 1 through 5 and the last 2 episodes. I think you can really hear my protagonist's voice in the first 5 episodes. And then the last 2, he sounds distant to me. So I have an idea to progress the story, specifically something that's going to happen with one of the characters from the main cast. But I didn't want to start that episode until I could really hear the protagonist's voice, because he is the narrator of the story. And so I was trying to find some resources to guide me on how to get back into a character's voice when I haven't been working on the story for quite some time. I did not find anything, so I'm just working my own way through it, just freestyling it up. And so I decided to go back and reread a few chapters from Syd Field's Screenplay. This is one of my favorite books that I tend to reach for whenever I am struggling with the drafting process. And so one of the things he was talking about in one of the chapters on character development is how to write a 3-dimensional character. And he talks about the professional, personal, and private lives of your character. And so I was looking back through my notes and I realized I didn't have any notes on this story. So I guess in 2021, I didn't have much of an outlining process. Now, normally I will create a Google Doc and it will have at least the log line synopsis and whatever ideas I have about the story. But I didn't have anything for this story. So that might be why I'm struggling. I don't have anything at all to grasp onto, like nothing to latch onto, no point of reference, just the actual episodes. That's all I have in my stash. So we are going to have to work on that. And basically I'm going to have to create a Google Doc and then fill it with, whatever I got in my head. Obviously, I won't remember everything from 2021. And this is also a new genre for me. It's like a dystopian fantasy. And so I've never written that genre before. And maybe that's why I didn't have anything. I don't know. But usually, I think back then, whenever I had an idea, I would just start writing. So I guess that's why I don't have any notes. But anyway, I am going to create a character bio/profile, whatever you call it, for my main character, since he is the narrator of the story as well. His name is L. Waxter. I started to think I should change the last name, but I'm going to leave it. I like the first name, but I'll just leave it. That's what it is. So anyway, I'm going to work on the character profile for him. And Syd Field, he gave me some ideas here because he was talking about, how just people in real life, you go through things in your teen years and in your 20s and in your 30s. And through each decade, it further develops your character. And so that's what he was saying, how to build a character. You want to know, what school did they go to? Who was their inner circle? Did they have both their parents in their lives or not? So I never asked those questions. I think I had certain answers in my head, but I didn't have it on page. So that's what I am going to do right now. I mean, I have a good sense of who he is in his professional and personal lives. I just don't have an idea of who he is in his private life when no one is around. So that's the part that I really need to work on. But if you read the story, I would say he's very impatient, very sarcastic. I would describe him as a tolerable a-hole, I mean, that, I don't know, everyone's different now. So some people might say he's intolerable. I don't know. But for me, that's how I would describe him. He's a bit of an a-hole, but he's tolerable. And so he has recently been fired from his position. And in his personal life, he's got a lot of turmoil. And he has his wife, Kristen, who she, to me, is like a real housewife. She's very oblivious to what's happening currently. He's kind of low-key panicking, but she's more interested in, the more superficial things about life, the shopping and socializing with her friends and her status in her community. That's the stuff she's interested in, but more serious matters, she could care less about. So, I mean, I have them in my head visually. I can see who they are, the main cast. I just have to put it on paper, Put it on paper, okay, because for whatever reason, I did not do that. And then I want to get back to it. I also probably should create a series Bible. I've never done that before, but I don't know how to do that. So I'm not even sure if I will do that. But yeah, basically I just need to do a whole revamp of this story, right? And I don't have a log line for this story. I do have a blurb here on Kindle Vella, so I'm not sure how it reads. So I'm going to read it right now. Okay, so it says, an anonymous podcaster releases the names of canceled individuals on his popular show. The individuals have 14 days before a hearing with the anonymous committee to plead their innocence. Upon review, the individual will either be reinstated, decision reversed without prejudice, or enforced with prejudice. That doesn't sound bad, right? I don't know. I don't think I'll change that just yet. We'll see. But for now, I think that's fine. But yeah, I don't know if I'll write a log line because of, I think that's fine what I have. So yeah, right now I'm going to work on a character profile for L. Rexton. started on the profile, but it's not complete just yet. But some ideas were coming to me. One really huge character development involves his religious beliefs. And that just came to me as I was just free writing what came to mind. And I think it can be powerful in the development of the overarching story. So yeah, I was surprised about that because I guess I never thought about it, his religious beliefs, but I think that's going to play an integral role in his character development, but also the story arc. So that's the only thing I got from that. But like I said, I'm still working on it. It's not complete yet, but I did start the personal, professional, and private life. Now there's something that's happening in the private life that I don't know how I can perpetuate it with the fantasy part of the story. So that's something I gotta figure out. But yes, so far I have some ideas, okay? I have some ideas, but I still have many questions that I need to answer. But that helped me, it helped out a little bit because it did answer some questions as far as his ideals and beliefs. And that helps when I'm drafting the story. So yeah, that exercise was beneficial. So that's what we'll say. It was beneficial. But anyway, I will continue to work on his bio. Also, there is an event that I keep mentioning in the, it's the meeting with the committee. So that's the one I'm nervous about writing. But I need to get to that because I've been talking about it for, 7 episodes now. So yeah, I need to write that event. Okay. I think once I continue building the profile, I think I'll hear his voice more strongly and then I can write that episode. So this was a beneficial exercise for me and I'm glad I did it. I've never broken it down like that with like the personal, professional, and private. Also with the teen years, the 20s, the 30s. I've never broken it down that way before. I mean, I usually use this book for character development, the one by K.M. Weiland, creating character arcs. This is usually my go-to for developing the main characters in my stories. But I always think about this book because I do like the way he talks about breaking down, a character's life through the decades, So yeah, I'm going to continue to work on this and hopefully I will get back into Elle's head and be able to write in his voice more clearly. That's the goal. Anyway, if you like this video, give me a like. Consider subscribing. I post videos every week, usually on Saturdays, writing related videos. And let me know how you get back into the head and voice of a character after a long absence. What are some tricks you use to hear that voice again? Or have you had this issue before? I don't know. So, because I was surprised to not find anything on this, but I didn't. So, who knows? Anyway, this is getting long. I'll catch you in the next one. And thank you so much again for watching. And I hope you have a great day. Bye.